Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Gaines 101. Welcome to my BitChute YouTube simulcast together of Dr. Gaines 101 channels. This will be on my main channel as well as on BitChute, maybe Rumble as well, and other platforms. Now, obviously, the title states of my video, all level of school needs to go back to the basics and its roots. And I know this is based upon my opinion. It's based upon my own experiences of sorts, and I have limitations to what I'm explaining, right? So here's the situation. Since I attended this online school, my second ever online school of my fifth college, I will admit I've been through five colleges so far, and my fifth college I went to, I'm currently attending right now since October 2021. To those that are well aware how to get to know me that way, you know, everything's on the internet. And as you can tell, we are broadcasting ourselves on the internet. We are sharing articles upon articles, reading this information, reading that information. All well and good, right? There are some comprehensions to the matter. You need to have basic comprehension to understand what the article states, the who, what, where, when, why, how, the objective, the thesis, or whatever the situation is, or whatever the professor or teachers are asking you in these K through 12, if not college level courses or classes or curriculum. And I'm starting to see that based on my experience as of late with this class, this English class I'm attending, it's like one of those remedial courses to take in your first year of colleges. Most students have got to go through all this matter, especially if it's at a low level college like that of, let's say, Sullivan County Community College. That's an in-person school that I attended the first year, my first ever college. Had to leave the college because of trouble at that school with students, and it's degradable. It's degraded. The school is degrading itself, both online and in person. Online is one thing you can avoid most students. They're very cantankerous and unpredictable, but in person, it's like you deal with all sorts of kids and people, and it's like what's the point after a while of being in school if you're not going to be, if you don't know, if you want to learn anything, if you don't want to be taught and understand what the teacher has to say and have their guidance, his or her guidance. And from what I'm realizing, and don't mind the fleece, guys, this is me being cold in my room. It's cold out there. It's like below freezing. So anyway, so one thing to another, there's more and more students that have less and less comprehension of the curriculum at hand. And whose fault is it necessarily? Is the teachers, or is the students, and or the parents? Which one or of the three, right? That impacts the students, right? And usually it's all three: the parent, the teacher, and the student. The student first and foremost has to have their own self-discipline and their own self-knowledge and awareness of the matter of dealing with education and matters in their own everyday scenario at school. Understand what the teacher is saying, understand the assignment, whether it's classwork or homework. And I did homework every time I went home. Plus, I also did book reports for my mom off of school curriculum work, whatever, on a weekly basis up to about, I would say, from 10 years old till about 15 years old. So for 5 years straight, I was reading at least one book a day, one book a week, every week for about 5 years, including the summertime, maybe I don't remember those details exactly, but definitely during the school year, there's a lot. It was a lot to put on my plate. Not a lot, but it was. The more I was getting better and better, gradually speaking, and it helped me out tremendously to get out of special education. Yes, people, I was in special education back in K through 12 schools, kindergarten through 12th grade school. Up until 10th grade, I had to stick with kindergarten, not kindergarten, special education. And special education, you get hands-on approaches and more attention detail to you as a student than the whole entire 30 plus or 25 plus student class of that classroom. And it was up to what, 10 people in my special education class. I went from second or first grade until 10th grade pretty much. And it wasn't the fact that of my comprehension is concerned, is by my repetition and also my retention of detail was not there fully. And so my mom, my mother, my family all together were not there for me. Well, if they were there for me, it wasn't really in detail to do these things until I was in 10th, until I was 10 years old, when my mom and I moved to Long Island for a few years. And I really improved my performance in my K through 12 education. I graduated high school with a Regents diploma, surprisingly. There was a kerfuffle with the testing of the Regents to the point that it was incomprehensible to most students in that class, even the smart ones. It was the New York State's fault for fucking up, excuse my language, for fucking up the New York Regents exams, especially over the last year or two of my high school career, or my K through 12 career of sorts of schooling. So what am I saying, guys? After I was explaining this stuff, well, based on my most recent experiences or my most recent college I attended, it seems that things are being dumbed down further and further. Like there have been mentioned by a woman named Caligula, who was an individual feminist. She's been talking about this matter for a few years now, and especially she's been talking about individual feminism since as early as the 1970s. So I don't support her per se, and I don't really want to agree with her too much, but she has a point what's going on in the education system. Plus, there's also a 2014 book that I want to read on as well that I glanced at. It's about the Dumbing Down America. There's also another one from 2008 by another author called The Dumbing Down of America. That's a 2008 book that I read back in 2009. So one thing to another, everyone's on social media. Everyone's on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, WhatsApp, Telegram, you name it. All these apps, all these programs, and what are they doing to us? They're dividing our attention little by little in a great extent in a long period. And I'm starting to realize that under my discretion, under my own perspective and experiences. For example, the current college I'm attending right now, the teachers don't teach literally at all. Now, I'm not saying that they don't help you guide if you ask questions via email or phone calls, that type of stuff, right? No big deal, right? But there's always supposed to be a class setting in a school. There's the teacher and the students in a room with books, desk, paper, if not a laptop or both, of paper, laptop, these things. And the teacher's supposed to teach on the board, whether it's a whiteboard, a chalkboard, a visual board, a projectile, those type of devices, right? Hell, even one of those overhead scanners where you write on the paper and you do the equations through the projectile of that matter too. There's another format it's called. There's old school shit from the 1990s and earlier too. So this was supposed to be taught in K through 12 schools, to at least that, for the last 70 years almost, if not almost 100 years, up until Common Core of 2010s, right? So since the Common Core, they've screwed up everything in the school system completely around to a point they want to dumb us down further as students, whether we're as young as 5 years old or as old as 25 years old in college. So this is what I have a problem with as a student as well as an able-bodied person. Now, I'm considered to be disabled under Social Security, the Social Security program that I'm currently in right now, as a person of who was diagnosed with mental illness, who's seeing things, who's hearing things, who has a learning disability back from how long up until 10th grade. And my learning disability was that I was not comprehending very well, or I overthink many things. So what happen is that the professor is supposed to come in and teach the class originally, yes, and by default, for the week or for the month or whatever the curriculum is. Every week we come together as class, whether it's online or in person. We go listen to the teacher of at least an hour, up at least 30 minutes, up until 3-4 hours, right? That's what I was experiencing back in my first ever college, from Sullivan County. I had three days of classes a week. Thank goodness I have 4-day weekends, right? Fuck, that was a thing. That's a blessing. And those 3 days, I'll have like 4 hours in the morning for Wednesday class, and then 6 hours for the Thursday class, and 4 hours for the Monday class and stuff for the Tuesday class, wherever it comes first, right? To my words, what I remember. So one thing leads to another. Long story short, I was I was comprehending the curriculum. I wasn't falling behind too much. I wasn't really dumbfounded necessarily up until now. But now I'm starting to realize that with my current college I'm attending, I try to keep names, the actual school names out, so that way you guys understand that I'm not trying to blame anyone or everyone about my problem as a student. But me as a student, I should be able to comprehend this in my 30s. I'm in my 30s right now. If I could comprehend this when I was like 17, 18 years old, you think I should be able to understand in my 30s of the English composition class. And this is an English composition class. This isn't a business class. This isn't about science. This isn't about the basic language or the basic English. It's some kerfuffle jargon. I can't comprehend what they're really saying based on what I read on screen. Like what you see as a screen, that's what I'm seeing as a screen on them in a Word format. But if the teacher comes together with the class and teaches us every week what to do with the assignment or assignments, what to discuss about, do you have any questions live on camera? This school doesn't do that. And I'm spending how much money, well, not spending personally myself, but as a person who experienced all this stuff with the students, with the teacher, you expect for them to have a class setting to come every week and teach. The teachers teach. And I learned from that teaching. That guidance helps out a big difference. And the teacher has a dedication, a loyalty, and also partners, not partnership, but loyalty to the students, and vice versa. At least by the majority of the students, there be a good cohesion in the flow of classwork, in the flow of progress with these students. At least most students, at least that. I'm one of those students that may need extra attention, right? But at the same time, I'm in my 30s. I read books from time to time. I read magazines with Game Informer and stuff like that, and I read bank statements and tax forms like 1099s and 1040s and W2s, W4s, W9s. I can comprehend that by following directions on those tax documents. But this English composition in this class or in this type of class and at this type of school, you gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to go through spending tens of thousands of dollars over 4 years just to earn something basic about what I could have learned in high school and just go straight into the office field, which I did kind of. I got an inside recommendation to work at the office. Long story short, I should have not put myself out there by that at my workplace. But hey, you gotta take risks, right? If there's a struggle out there, if we're supposed to go through a struggle as a society at large, of that there's problems worsening, the BP oil spill, the economic crisis of 2008, 2009, now it's called 2007, 2008 economic crisis, and all this other situations and crisis and problems. Shouldn't we resolve them? Shouldn't we overcome that matter? Shouldn't we, like, this is like most students who are younger than me don't understand a damn thing about what I'm saying. They think I'm just talking out my ass, and that's pathetic. Like, usually most students who experience rejection, tarnation, damnation, just like ostracization, all this stuff, they should be feeling rebellious. They should feel resentful. They should feel ashamed and feel like they need to find a wanted to be in a group and to understand each other. These days, good luck trying to find them with most of these guys. I'm not trying to say that they're not stupid or they don't understand me, but we come from two different times. Literally, like someone who's 17, 18 years old never experienced me as a 34-year-old back in the 1990s into the 2000s. Someone that grew up with Common Core can all understand what doesn't understand what I'm experiencing, and he's valedictorian. He knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to know what's his name, but he knows what I'm talking about. Valedictorian with your demeanor, you act like a fucking gangster. That's fucking stupid on my part, on anyone's part, to make you be valedictorian. I guarantee you, if you went to my school, you would be just like all those kids in that college, in that Sullivan County College. You would just be just like, not all of them, but the ones who are the gangster, yo, 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 you can't see me, word up, at the same time, I'm John Cena, thugonomics. Like, whatever, stuff like that. I know that's over exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying, guys. Like, this is ridiculous. How can you be valedictorian with smoking weed and doing drugs and stuff like that? There's no integrity anymore in these schools. There's nothing going on in these schools that's of value. Because if I was valedictorian, they would, and they find out with what I did before the graduation, not only they will oust me from the valedictorian position, but I will be graduating with my class by then. This is what I learned from when I was in school. I was given the fear of God, not direct from the teachers, but from my family, my neighbors in this area of Queens, in this part of New York City. Then moved to Long Island, where it's a totally different atmosphere. It's not about black power. It's not about white power. It's not about Ku Klux Klan. It's not about black supremacists or Malcolm X or whatever. It's about fucking just living and surviving in this fucking multicultural nation. We're in a multicultural point now in our country. We should be able to get along, not get along to get along, but in this kumbaya shit. But like, I'm starting to see that the integrity, excuse me, of our schools are not really up to par, and have never been for quite some time now, ever since the 1980s, when the federal government opened the United States Department of Education. This is my reading and studying of what I learned from InfoWars and Alex Jones, and also other books like The Dumb and Down America, which was a 2008 book I mentioned earlier, things that matter, right? So, what I'm trying to say is that we need to go back to the basics. Us students as well as teachers, especially in my perspective, the teachers, because yes, it's the students' fault for not learning properly. Yes, it's their fault for not comprehending the information, so they have to rely on their parents. But sometimes the parents don't understand the information either, because it has changed since they've been in school. All this constant changing in every generation of different curriculum is affecting the cohesion and the flowing of progress with our students and with our teachers, and also with as a society as a whole. Now, I'm not saying that the guys who are at 18, 19 years old don't understand the damn thing about me, or they think I'm stupid or weird, or that I'm retarded because I have a different lingo, or I talk a certain dialect that I was taught in school by English teachers. What does that say about them? Isn't that lovely, guys? I'm considered to be the retard of the group or I'm considered to be the special kid of the group because of what? Something from my past that I had past problems with, that all I had to do was do book reports every week and read more and more, and to understand more and more, and to gradually up and increase my reading levels. I was reading books, like I said to you before, about the American culture, the United States flags, the American states, the American birds, and all that stuff, and the nicknames of each state, like the Tar Heel state of North Carolina, the fucking Empire State of New York, Golden State is California, all this stuff, one leads to another. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what I was taught about in school. This is ridiculous, guys. We shouldn't have to go through all this incomprehension or with this problems with staying in school and to learn and thrive. And if you cannot make it in school, in the college levels at least, then your fate is to work fast food. Your fate is to work in department stores. Your fate is to work in the shipping and receiving of these department stores, like I have. So I know what they get to about working at the bottom. That's fine. I can accept that fate. But don't come to me saying that I need an education in college, knowing that there's no jobs for me in those higher ups jobs if I can't get into the job itself or into the field of that matter. Yes, it's my fault that I got suspended for my first college. Yes, it's my fault that I didn't do what I have to do to avoid those conflicts, to do the studying properly. I didn't care about going to college to begin with. I cared about one thing, is to have a job, able to use that job to pay for bills, able to use that job to pay for expenses that I want to do, whether it's to take a girl out and have my own family and to live off of it too. Now, obviously, in fast food, that's not the case. But eventually, I could turn into a manager. I could turn into a supervisor or whatever you call lead at this ramp agent job. That was a fucked up right to what they did to me. They told me that I'm going to have a job as a supervisor of some sort, right? And they said to me, "Oh, come in this day and that time." They didn't even introduce them to the workers at that place that I was going to be the supervisor. They were all surprised I was the supervisor or the lead or some sort. It was some authoritative type of position that they didn't even explain it to my fucking coworkers. I have to explain it to them. Almost everyone at that place of that area of the airport. Stuff like that, stupid shit. Like they know what they did that it was wrong to me when you let that work almost damage my legs and stuff like that. That's another story of its own. So excuse me if I turn a tangent. But other than that, I think that we as people of a society, whether we're as old as 30s, in our 30s, or as young as in our 20s, even older than 30s and 40s, we should at least have able to teach our younger people and also teach me as well into what's going on with certain curriculums. And if I cannot comprehend it, so be it. I will go back to fast food. I will go back to shipping and receiving. If I work myself up to be an office worker doing office work for 10, 15, $20 an hour as of this moment in life, so be it. If it's $10 an hour like I did 10 years ago at the office work, so be it, right? That's what I did back then. I actually accepted and I tried to do something for myself. But one thing is another, I'm relapsing back into the hospital of doing crazy shit. Whether it's seeing things and hearing things, whether I'm acting out or screaming or hollering in my sleep and stuff like that. I know I shouldn't be mentioning this publicly out there to people like that, but this is something where trauma can actually affect someone who as around my age that learned from all that situation back when they were younger. So guys, keep my words in mind. Advocate for yourself to say that to the teacher, I want to be taught. If you're not interested in teaching, me being taught, excuse me, if you're not interested in being taught in class, especially specifically if you're going to college for it and you didn't want to go to college for it, by all means, I understand what you gotta do. I'm not sure what that thing is in your specific matter, but based on my situation, what I'm explaining, and my experience, what I explained for the last 20 minutes almost, over 20 minutes, you guys should understand where I come from, and that you should never let people turn you down or make you block your obstacles and stuff like that, or overcome these obstacles no matter what, right? Push yourself to your limits, right? And even beyond your limits. But if you've done it over and over and you realize that there's less and less jobs for unskilled laboring for the ones without the education, so I gotta tell you right there that society is going to turn into a fuck up situation. Like you shouldn't have to go to college just to make $20 an hour just to survive off of that one job. Oh, sure, you get 3 jobs, 4 jobs, right? But then it's inconsistent, the 3 jobs, especially if it's 2 jobs, 2 part-time jobs that I experienced back in 2007. That was crazy. Thank goodness I didn't have to go to school, but that was crazy hours. I had to do this time, that time, go to this place and that place, take 3 buses here, 3 buses there, 2 buses there, 1 train there. Michael Savage explains it all. You have to deal with the daily grind as a student and as well as a worker. So, all right, guys, please thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Donate to my Patreon, Dr. Games 101. If you cannot donate to Patreon, PayPal, and other outlets, just share my videos. Everything's down below in the description box for all my references, if I have any references right now, and also my donation button, stuff like that. So $1 can help, 50 cents can help. It doesn't matter. Anything would be great from you guys. And no matter what I said in this video and any other past videos, this is what I experienced as a person and as a human being and as a citizen of this country. And we as citizens should at least have the right to education. But at the same time, it's not by Constitution, the federal Constitution, we don't have a right to education to begin with. That's how bad. That's how situated. Not bad, but that's how shocking it is. So think about that. You don't have to have education to work. You really don't. You need your hands. You got your controller, and you got the recording button. And you can do stuff, and you go to tournaments and stuff like that in today's world. I met so many different people who are like as young as 10 to as old as in their 20s. These guys are good at games. They can go to tournaments and make bank. Apex Legends character, or the Apex Legends guy, his name was Jay. Let's call him in short Jay. Jay, if you're watching this, keep at it. Keep doing Apex Legends. You're 10 kills every match. Every time I team up with you, or not every match, but good portion of matches. Just a shout out to him as well. Do your own thing, guys. Fuck, if you can't go to school right now, fuck school. Just make money by playing lots of tournaments. You'll make bank somehow, some way in life. Just as a gamer perspective, a fellow gamer to another younger fellow gamer of sorts. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.